Welcome along to another edition of the Army List Analysis series, and today we are looking at the Hungarian 1200 AD list with Bohemian 1200 AD allies. This is quite a unique army with a lot of interesting combinations. Let's go straight in and we find some Dismounted Knights. Now these are real quality units. Not many armies have them. Only some of the German lists have access to these Dismounted Knights, and the Norman list has access to some of the earlier Dismounted Knights, which aren't quite as good. They will just batter almost any other infantry. Okay, there's a few lists that have access to guard units, but other than that, there's not going to be much that's going to better these units. Great value at 78. We can take 2, and so they are a real fine addition to this army. Armored defensive spear next to them at 42. Over your standard defensive spear, they've got about a plus 25 advantage, POA advantage in melee for their armor. So, you know, mixed in with some Dismounted Knights. That's nice. 4 defensive spear. Sturdy troops in most armies. They will often do well against better units and just hold against cavalry, and good all-round unit and great value for money at 36. So mixed in with your Dismounted Knights armored spear, that's quite a nice solid line you've got there. And then we've got 2 of the raw spearmen to round out. So we don't really have that much infantry. We've got at the moment 9 infantry units, which I usually take at least 10 or 11. So I'll have a look at the end of the video, maybe switching things around a bit. But as you can see, this is a very sort of hybrid kind of mixed fluid army, really, because you have these nomad horse archers. There can't be that many armies, almost no armies in fact, in the game that have access to Dismounted Knights, crossbowmen, nomad horse archers and mounted knights. It's a real kind of east-west mix, isn't it, really? Because these are all good units, but usually the nomad horse archers are in the Asian lists and Dismounted Knights are only in a few of the Euro lists. And not all armies get access to crossbowmen, especially 4 crossbowmen. So, you know, definitely east meets west. These nomad horse archers I really like. Some of the best units in the game for their price and effectiveness. They're only 36 and average protected bow. They're just like what we found with the Mongol army, the Mongol cav. They're just great at disrupting cavalry, moving around on the flanks, disrupting infantry, especially protected infantry. All round great unit, and when you can take 7, that's really nice. So that's another big plus for this army, to have access to so many. A lot of armies, maybe you can only take 2. We've got some mounted knights. You can take more if you want to take more. So, you know, only 2 nomad horse archers, they're 36. If you take out 2 of those, you could add a unit of knights. So there's some flexibility with this list. Maybe if you were playing maybe European army, you want to take another unit of knights, then it's possible. And that's quite a nice exchange, you know, 2 horse archer units for 1 unit of knights. That's fair. Depending on the map, depending on your opponent, that might be a nice option to have. We've got altogether 5 regular archers and bow. Got 4 crossbow and 1 unit of archers, but we've actually got 2 raw crossbowmen here, so that gives us 7. and 2 skirmishers. So not loads and loads, but 7 is a decent number. I think it was that English list we were looking at a few days ago. I think it only had 4 was it 4 or 5, maybe 5 units of archers, and only a couple of skirmishers. So this is a fair size, and you do have options. We can take out up to 4 more archer units, and also quite a bit more skirmishers if you really wanted them. But at the moment I've held off a little bit because I'm kind of at my minimum with infantry. We have spent 78, but I think it's well worth spending 78 on these 2 units each. Options. Let's see. So maybe if we took out on these light archers, maybe if we took out the Zeklakav, and maybe if we took out one of the nomads horse archers, we could maybe change to lights. What have we got? That'll give us the lights. Maybe we could add. You've got up to 4. If you had lots of rough grounds, you could take out some irregular foot. And maybe, yeah, okay, if we took out the Zeklakav, we could have 2 more irregular foot. So we've taken out a couple of units. Well, actually we took out 1 unit of light horse archers, some Zeklakav, switch one of the nomad horse archers to light, and we can take out this irregular foot. So that takes us to 12 infantry units. And we've still got 6 units of nomad horse archers. So maybe this kind of build players would go for, because 9 isn't a lot of infantry. So we've still got 6 nomad horse archers, and we've got 1 of the nomad light horse archers. We've still got a lot of horse archers, and yet you've got 12 infantry. So probably this is more the list, or the option that I would use with this army. You could also perhaps, if we took out the irregular foot, you could go for more archers because we've got access to all these archers. So if you wanted more firepower, then we can take out 2 more. That gives us 9 bow units. We've got 18. We could maybe switch one of the maybe the raw cross. What does that give us? 39. We're maxed on crossbowmen, but we can take archers. So we've got yet another. So there's quite a lot of options really in the important areas. That's what I always look for in terms of flexibility. Can I take decent cav, more cav, or more bow? And we've got now 9 units of bow. So that's quite nice. That's quite nice. As I've said, if you want, you could take more knights. Just take out a few of these. So I quite like this army. Okay, it would be nice to have a bit bit more infantry. If we just had another, maybe 2 defensive spear, this would be a really good army. But because we've only got 4, and then we're relying on raw spear, and then maybe some irregular to bulk us out, that is a little bit of a disadvantage. But these dismounted knight units pull it back up, and the nomad horse archers as well are excellent. So it's quite a nice mix, really, we've got. What kind of rating would I give this army? At least a B+. I do like it. If you can use, I think the key to winning with this army is the performance of the dismounted knights and the nomad horse archers. If you manage to do a lot of damage with the horse archers, disrupt a lot of enemy cav, charge it, get your advantage on the flanks with these units, and then you're doing well with your dismounted knights, then more likely than not you'll win. I think if you get a bit bogged down, if you can't really use your cav that much, if your dismounted knights get stuck and don't get any kind of push going, because remember, it's 78 each, so 156 points there in just 2 units. So if they're not doing all that much, if they get held up, if you got them behind your main line, or you're trying to protect them too much from skirmisher fire and they just don't get going, then I think you could be in trouble. So maybe a B+ at the moment. Let's keep an eye on them. The rating might go higher. I do love the flexibility. A lot of armies you just don't get the amount of flexibility you have with this army, so that's got to be a plus point. With all these knights you can take out if you need them, all the bow you can take out. Just I'd like a little bit more heavy foot. Okay, that's about it. If you're playing with this army, let us know how you're doing. It'd be interesting to hear from you. If you're playing against this army, also put some comments below. Let us know how you're getting on. We've got a few more armies to cover. I think I'm on around 24-25 armies now in High Middle Ages alone that I've covered. So we're getting to the end, but there's a couple more that I'm going to do. But good luck to everyone who's in the league, and thanks a lot for watching. See you again soon.